Alright, so I believe that the topic of this video is aligned with the current theme of my life, and that is change. Today, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of the Group of Five splitting from the Power Four and creating a league of its own with a playoff system of its own. But before I delve into that, I want to say that this is the last video that I will be recording here in this setting, in this studio, if you will, with this backdrop. I want to thank y'all for watching all of these videos and interacting with me and helping this channel grow. It's been a pleasure to watch the growth of this channel. It's been amazing for the past year. Video after video after video recorded in this location here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And it's truly been a blessing. When I took on the challenge of the era, I didn't know how long it would last. I didn't know how much the channel would grow, what the success of it would be. But it's been amazing. It's been so enriching to watch the channel grow. And I will be moving to Dallas, Texas this Sunday. And the era is not going anywhere. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not going anywhere. The consistency, the releases will be the same. The volume will be the same. I'll have a new studio with a new backdrop and a new location, but it'll be the same me and it'll be the same era. So I can't wait for it. I appreciate your support as always, and I look forward to continuing to interact with y'all down the line here. But let's not get too sentimental. Let's dive into the situation that surrounds the Group of Five and the Power Four, their relationship, and what the approach of the Group of Five may be here in the future. So there's been a conversation right now surrounding the state of the Group of Five, and it's been heating up recently. TCU's head coach Sonny Dykes came out and made a statement the other day that suggests that a Power Five and Group of Five splits is inevitable. It's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. And he added this line that really kind of struck me. Louisiana Tech is not playing the same sport as Alabama. And it's very true. Very different playing fields. Very different paths to success. Very different ceilings and floors. And there's, even with an expanded 12-team playoff, there's still a very minimal chance of a Group of Five team making that playoff or doing something in that playoff, just because of the talent disparity and the way that the CFP views Group of Five teams. The idea of the Group of Five forming its own league, if you will, its own playoff system, it's been thrown out there. It's been circulating for, I'd say, over a year at this point. But the more intercollegiate athletics continue to evolve and the more games we watch and the more the time goes on, it seems like it's a realistic idea. Not only realistic, but what might be the best solution to everything going on right now. Because there's something that happens right now that really suppresses these G5 schools, and especially from a football standpoint. Say you have a wide receiver at Central Michigan who absolutely balls out. He's on SportsCenter every week. People are watching his highlight reels. He's all over social media. Now he has a 1,500-yard season. He's starting to rise by people's draft boards. And the Chippewas are like, wow, we really got something here. We can make a push. If we continue to develop this guy, we could really make a push. We may have struck gold. No, Chippewas. You're going to have Texas, or you're going to have Georgia, or you're going to have Ohio State, or Kansas State, or USC come in and swoop this guy up. He's not yours forever. He will be going to the Power Four inevitably. And that just nullifies any chance that a Group of Five team has to sustain success. So I think that the Group of Five having its own league is what's most ideal for this current situation. Fans crave competition. That's why people watch sports. They get excited about competition. You can go out to a bar in July. They'll have the Euro Cup on, and people will be invested into Portugal and Germany. They may have money on it, yes, but it's a fascinating game. If it's 3-2 in the 87th minute, people are going to be locked in because it's exciting. They may not know what the end result means. They don't know what they're playing for, but just the action. You're not thinking about that. You're just invested in the game. Like, think about the NIT tournament this year. My roommates, yes, he may have had money on Indiana State, but he was dialed in. He was watching that game. It was an exciting game, the NIT championship this year, because it's competition. Look at the UFL this year. Their ratings have been steady because the competition's been great. It's been great parity. The FCS playoff ratings have increased over the past several years or so because you have great games, especially when you get into the semifinals and the championship round. There's great games and it locks people in. And if you as a team can compete for a championship, that changes everything. There's something about that word. There's a stigma, there's a connotation, that word championship, that is ever so significant in sports. Right now, these group of 5 teams, they really have no shot at pursuing a championship. They're pursuing a berth in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, or the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, or the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. They're not playing for a championship. If the G5 splits off from the Power 4 and they make their own league with their own playoff system, those teams are now competing for their own trophy. And so there's more motivation. And there's more of a drive to get from point A to point B. These G5 teams don't even know what point B is right now. That's how messed up this whole situation is. So that's why I think that the G5 splitting off and creating its own system is so incredibly important right now because it gives these teams a chance to compete. I'm from the Capital Region, upstate New York. Albany's right near me. UAlbany was in the FCS playoffs this year, and they made a little run. And people get invested. They're getting excited. Like the local news stations are talking about. People were talking about it when I was back visiting from Alabama. It was drawing buzz. Like, people were talking about the Great Danes like they never had before. Granted, they got smoked by the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, but it was still a conversation. People were engaged. People were interested. If you get Eastern Michigan or Wyoming or North Texas competing for a championship, it's going to get people in those municipalities and in those communities and at those schools talking. It'll get the students interested. There's nothing that gets a student body more excited than a championship. So just playing for something. And then the movement of players, I want to address that as well. It will keep players in the G5 for longer because they're more motivated, because they're competing for something. And when it's time, if a player becomes too good, so to speak, for the G5, they'll then graduate on to the Power 4 and compete at that level. But those schools won't fall behind at all because they're playing other G5 schools. So it's not like it's tarnishing them. They may not be as good as they were the year before, but they're not going to completely fall off. They're not going to get steamrolled by their competition. So I just think that it's great to have a structure in place, an instrument in place, to where players can go from D3 to FCS to G5 to Power 4, if they will. Or if somebody starts at the Power 4 level, they're not cutting it, they're still third in the depth chart, they can go down to the G5 and compete and build their sea legs and then go back up to the Power 4. Or start in the FCS, go up to the Group of 5, and then go up to the FBS. There's a structure in place. Teams are competing for something, and the fans are engaged when it comes to that competition. And it really it levels out the playing field. So I think that's not only inevitable, but it's ideal that the group of five splits from the power of four. I think that, of course, with the way that college football is evolving, there's going to continue to be angst and anxiety in the room. But I think that it can minimize some of those feelings and give more of a sense of clarity to the layout, the landscape of college football right now, if the group of five is to split from the power of four. But I want to know y'all's thoughts on it. Once again, thank you. It's been a wonderful ride here in the studio in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm excited to continue to bring you some great content out in Dallas. And please continue to interact with me on here. I love talking with all of you, and I appreciate your support so much. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.